What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Y2 Shadows, and we're back at it with Hoop Nights. We're gonna kind of go through everything not everything actually, but we'll kind of go over the association for tonight. Today, well, it's now a day later, it's the 21st, but we're talking about, in layman's terms, the 20th days of NBA Hoop. We're gonna kind of get started with Lakers and Blazers, talk mainly about that game, because again, you guys know I'm a Lakers fan, so I'm gonna zero in on mainly on that game, but we'll talk about all the other games, because I had League Pass up and I had a chance to view and peep some of the other games as well. So let's kind of get into it. Let's go straight into it. So as you can see here, the Lakers finally broke that losing streak of losing to below 500 teams. 110-102 win. LeBron James and Austin Reeves were incredible. LeBron ended up having 40, almost had a triple-double. And the reason why we say triple-double, right, is it's not going to show here because it's not a positive stat, but LeBron actually had 11 turnovers. So if he would have got the rebounds here, it would have been a triple-double because he had 11 turnovers as well. But LeBron had a great game. Austin Reeves did pretty well in the fourth quarter in spurts as well, 32 and 7. Everybody else kind of just did a little bit, like chipped in, nothing really crazy. Dodo was great. The box sheet doesn't show more of what Dodo did, but Dodo 10 points, 6 rebounds, 4 or 7 from the field, so shooting really good there. Dodo did pretty good, plus also two threes. Dodo did pretty great as well. And then you kind of see everybody else kind of just like chipped in, got a little bit of chip in stuff, but nothing like too crazy there. On the Blazers side, Kamara shot pretty well, especially from 3. Kamara was 3 for free, 19 points, 19 and 7, really nice. Mr. Ajadiva, this dude was frying the whole night. 28, 5 and 4. He was cooking. Scoot didn't really have the greatest game efficiency wise, but Scoot had 12. Anthony did a little bit well. Mr. Klingon, I'm surprised we only held Mr. 7-foot Klingon to only 6 rebounds. Jeremy Grant was a non-factor. He's been a non-factor in every Lakers game that they played this year so far, the other game that they played. And then Rob Will off the bench, 8 and 6. So, oh yeah, Shaden Sharp had a little bit of Shaden Sharp played as well. Obviously, no Aiden in this game. No Aiden played. But again, Lakers pulled out the dub here. First thing that I want to say is the Lakers are in like this weird spot where everybody's still trying to gel together, but Luka didn't play this game, and the Lakers, kind of before the All-Star break, the Lakers had gone on a stretch where we were on, like, I want to say, like, what, in the small ball lineup era, we were on, like, a 5-game winning streak, or we had won, like, 5 out of 6, something, like, really crazy. Like, let me just bring up the Lakers schedule kind of before the All-Star break. Like, yeah, kind of, like, just before the All-Star break. Oh, yeah, this is where we play the Nuggets coming up soon. Oh, no, where is it at? Hold on, let me find. Oh, there we go. Yep, see more games. I probably should just go to like NBA.com instead of using Bing, but fuck it, we're already here. So after the day where this is where Anthony Davis got hurt in this game, right? And we were just kind of doing like our small ball lineup and mainly going like all small ball. Look at the Lakers kind of win streak that we went on. We had beaten the Wizards. Wizards aren't really a good team, but beat the Wizards. We beat the Knicks on primetime. We beat the Clippers on primetime as well. Both of these games, all these games were national televised games. Beat the Pacers with no LeBron and Luka, right? Like yeah, we had no LeBron and Luka. Then our first game with Luka, we beat the Jazz. But like, look at this, like this 5-game stretch here where we were like mainly purely like small ball. Like I mean, yeah, we had Jackson Hayes for sure. I'm not gonna act like Jackson, but Jackson Hayes wasn't playing like crazy minutes. We were doing like our all small ball thing here. We had gone on like a 5-game win streak. And then just for whatever reason, the game before the break, we kind of just laid down against the Jazz, just didn't really show up. And then the Hornets game yesterday was disgraceful because we turned the ball over and were so careless so many times, and we still had multiple chances to win that game and just couldn't close in the fourth quarter. So I also in the middle of this game in the third quarter, I also thought that the same thing was going to end up happening as well. There was a point in the third quarter where when we started the third, we were up like as many, I think it's like 11 or 12 points, and then we kept turning the ball over, turnovers. Portland did a really good job of sending double teams at LeBron James and forcing LeBron to pass out a double team. And usually LeBron's really, really great, but for whatever reason, LeBron was just not on point passing out about double teams today. So he would pass it out of double teams, Blazers would get a steal, and it would come down on the other end and get a layup, or a dunk, reigniting the crowd. JJ Redick, there was just, I understand people's hesitation with Jackson Hayes. I get it. Again, his main thing is that he's just kind of like a big body lob threat, and he's not really like great around the rim. He's not really a great defender, nothing like that. Not the best rebounder, and his hands are kind of like small and bad. But he's like your best option at the moment, and he's also hasn't been bad when the Lakers were actually winning good games against good teams. So when JJ keeps him out of the lineup and doesn't give him like opportunities to go ahead and flourish, it just hurts the team in like negative ways. Because yes, I know that they have to pull out and they have when teams they don't have to worry about Jackson Hayes, but at least Jackson Hayes is a lob threat. So we have somebody who's gonna rim run, and he's a decent lob threat. Without that, and there's we're going Rui at the 5 or LeBron at the 5 or somebody what's his name? He didn't play tonight, but Jared Vanderbilt at the 5. It just messes with the continuity of the team, and we just can't generate good offensive looks because we got a small ball, and then we have guys like Vando, who's not a good offensive threat, so teams will sag off on Vando, and the paint's cluttered, and LeBron and Luka like to attack the rim and attack the basket. Same thing, Reeves as well loves to attack the basket, and if they're sagging off on some of our teams, like some of our team there, you can't attack the basket well at all because they're clogging the paint. But pretty much tonight though, at multiple points, I felt this game was in Portland's favor. I don't know, for whatever reason, Chauncey Billups and his staff decided to stop sending doubles at LeBron, and they let LeBron start really, really cooking up in the third and the fourth quarter. Towards the end of the third, when LeBron came back in, and in the fourth quarter, they just stopped sending doubles at LeBron. Just not sure why they decided to do that, because they got to a point where LeBron started cooking, and he got all the way up to 38 before he got his final 2 free throws at the end to get 40. Reeves this game, I know the stat says 32-7, but there was multiple bad turnovers by Reeves in this game too. Reeves wasn't as sharp, but in the fourth quarter he did do 2 key defensive plays. He had a charge, drew a charge, and then he got a block that ended up being a jump ball. For whatever reason, the refs just decided not to award Reeves with the block and steal, and they called the play dead too quickly and did a jump ball motion. But Reeves doing those things over there was contributing to winning. Dodo also late in the game too. Reeves tried to throw up a contested 2-point shot, bounced off the rim on the right side, and Dodo was just right there to do the rebound putback that made the Lakers go up. Made the Lakers, I think they were down 4 and they went back up by 6 with it was under 45 seconds to go, something around that point. So Dorian Finney-Smith has been great. That's been one of the best acquisitions of the season. Obviously besides the Luka trade, right? But I'll just say in general, I think the Dorian Finney-Smith trade, just out of a lot of teams in general, Dodo did really good for us. Portland side, not too much to say. They're in the sweepstakes right now for Cooper Flag. Here, I'll pull it up as well, but Tankathon is a website that I kind of learned off from a lot of people, kind of like, hey, projected draft picks and like who they're like people are projected to go. So right now Portland was way higher earlier, but Portland, they're not the best team at all. They're trying to be in the Cooper Flag, Harper, Ace Bailey sweepstakes, even though this whole draft is nuts. Like, I don't think you can go wrong with a lot of prospects in this draft, especially Derek Queen from Maryland as of late. He's been really, really good. But yeah, right now they got him projected to go 9th with Asunuo from Georgia. So yeah, they're kind of, again, like right now they're just all kind of just in like just mock drafts mode at this point. But Portland did a pretty damn good game. Portland has some pieces that in the summer they can move off of to try to like get flexible contracts in, and then again just continue to build continuity and build their team up from scratch as well. But going forward for the Lakers, we have a big game on Saturday against the Nuggets. That's gonna be probably one of the tallest tests of the season, right? Hold on. Let's bring back the Lakers schedule real quick. Yeah, so we play the Nuggets in Denver. I have no clue if LeBron's gonna play that game because LeBron just played a back-to-back. Especially, it hurts too because we messed up what's really annoying is us losing that back-to-back yesterday. If we win, we're at 34-20 and we're in 4th place right now. I know it's only a half game edge over Houston because Houston would have been obviously, so we're 34-20 and they'd be 34-21, but still it's just any chance to be able to get closer to Houston. And a game like that, losing one of that games to the Hornets, who are, again, they're in contention to try to get the top 4 pick, is just a bad process by us, and it was very bad for us losing that game. But yeah, just pretty much going forward here, this Nuggets game is going to tell us a lot about this team, I think. I know that, yes, us beating the Knicks and us beating the Clippers and stuff like that was like really, really good wins last couple of weeks for sure. But we're talking about now true contenders, like the upper echelon tier teams. I know the Knicks are they're top 3 in the East. I believe. I'm pretty sure the Knicks are like third place right now. They are, yeah, 3rd place and everything, but people kind of view these two, Cleveland and Boston, as like a gap above. Now, for the West, though, it's OKC, Denver, and then there's like a gap in contenders. So you kind of like don't want to fall so far behind. And then this game against the Nuggets will really tell us a lot, I think, about the Lakers as the season goes. So hopefully LeBron plays. I expect in that matchup they're going to hunt Luka a lot. They're going to try to do a lot of Luka. They're going to try to do a lot of Joker mismatches because Jackson Hayes is going to be guarding Joker. And let's just be 100% honest with you. There's nobody in the world. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world, but Jackson Hayes, of all people, is going to be guarding Nikola Jokic. And Jackson Hayes is somebody who he reacts a lot. Like, he'll react to pump fakes and stuff like that to try to get blocks and everything. So Jokic is going to do a bunch of head fakes, pump fakes, and all that to get Jackson in the air and draw fouls. So it could be something where Jackson Hayes might be in a lot of foul trouble against Jokic in this type of game. The real thing, though, will be kind of see how we can contain the stars, right? Like, are we going to allow Jamal Murray to go off? I have no clue. I'll check today because I don't know if and I know I seen Westbrook was playing today again. My boy Julian Strother, shout out my guy from Vegas, like real cool dude. Julian played. I know Jamal Murray played as well. I don't know about MPJ's health and Aaron Gordon's health right now. So I'll see if they played today in a moment when we get to the other games for today. But assuming like their starting five is healthy, which is going to be obviously Jokic, Christian Brown, Jamal Murray, Gordon, and MPJ, is going to be seeing like how do we defend the role players, and what is JJ going to do? Is JJ going to keep Rui in the starting lineup? Are we going to switch it out and go Dorian Finney-Smith to try to like really utilize, like try to make our like perimeter defense a lot better? What are we going to end up doing there? So that'll be the biggest matchup of the pretty much our one of our biggest tests of the season, actually. Let's go ahead. Let's move on though into the rest of the association for tonight. Boston. So Boston dominated this game from start to finish. There was at no point that I believe that they truly were really in danger from Philly. Philly just didn't really have a chance at all. Philly's in a bad spot, man. Their PG just hasn't been playing the best, and they're paying PG all that money, 4 years, $220 million contract. They just paid Paul George. Is it 200 or 220 million? It's over 200 million. I just know that. Peyton Pritchard had himself a game, by the way. 8 3-pointers, 28 points, leading the team. Tatum had a triple-double. Didn't really shoot the best, but didn't really need to because Boston had came out firing early. At one point, I think the team in the first quarter, they had like 8 threes in the first. Boston had just like shot the lights out from three. Shoot, Al Horford, you can see had multiple threes here. Pretty much everybody on their team except Hauser had hit at least 2 threes. So Boston loves to shoot the most threes. I think they still shoot the most threes in the NBA by far. And because they take the most, they have and they're actually decent 3-point shooters. They kind of make the most. The big three did play, but again, they just had nothing for them. You see Embiid didn't hardly finish the game, barely played. PG didn't play much. Maxey had a decent night if you want to look at the numbers, but I know that they weren't really good as well. The unfortunate thing is the 76ers are heading in a bad direction, y'all. The 76ers, it's been bad all year, but the 76ers are 15 games below 500. They're not even in the play-in right now, right? Obviously, 76ers, they're just barely outside of it, which, funny enough, the Bulls are really, really bad. They should be tanking to try to get out of that, but the 76ers are, for some reason, even worse than Chicago Bulls. And the 76ers, they do own their draft pick this year, so they'll be able to do that, but yeah, it's kind of very bad. I don't know what they're going to do in Philly, but I'm assuming that they're going to be in the offseason. What's going to end up happening is Philly is going to try to shop around. They're going to shop around. I think they're going to start shopping around Embiid. I think they're worried about Embiid's health too much, and they're kind of going to be like, it's time. So they're going to want to shop Embiid around, kind of see what they get, kind of see what people will offer for them. They might try to get off of PG's contract as well, even though that's going to be one of the worst contracts in the league because he turns 35 soon, and he's still going to have 3 years left on that deal. So it's going to be kind of very interesting to kind of see what teams will do with that. But yeah, they're just going in a bad direction. Celtics have been cruising through the regular season. I know people have been worried about them, and I've been kind of praying on their downfall because you guys know I'm a Lakers fan, so I've been praying that Boston doesn't do too well. But Boston's just cruising through the regular season. They're just trying to make it through, make sure that they guarantee themselves a top 2 seed, and then they just kind of play against the field there. Boston's not really any like worry position at all, to be 100% honest. So yeah, not really much to talk about there. Next, so we got Grizzlies and Pacers. This one I didn't watch the closest. I didn't get to watch the closest too much of it, but as you can see, Pacers pulled away by 14-point dub, 127 to 113. Something's wrong with Ja, and I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if he's regressed. I don't know if because of all the new players and the system that they have kind of in place, and kind of the abundance of scoring that's going on, if Ja is not really needed to do much as a scorer or be as much as like a threat as he kind of is, but I will say Ja's not been playing well, and it's starting to scare a lot of people. Hell, there was kind of a funny rumor that was going around the other day about because of the Luka deal, that a bunch of stars are now on the table, and that nobody is untouchable. And some people are thinking that Memphis may try to move off of Ja Morant, which I think is crazy. But if there's actual sign of regression and the Grizzlies are actually going to try to move off of Ja Morant, it's kind of because of games like this. And it's like stretches, not just like games, but like stretches like this where Ja is just not shooting well from the field and just not having an overall great impact on the game. I mean, 4 for 15 is just not going to cut it. And then you only have 12 points. 6 dimes is nice, but 12 points and then you're shooting that bad from the field, terrible efficiency, just kind of not going to really cut it. Jaren Jackson, Jaren did pretty solid. Jalen Wells, really nice addition to the team. Jalen Wells doing pretty good. Edey is kind of just a 7-foot monster that he is. 11 boards is nice. Kind of need a little bit more to 5, but it's okay. Desmond Bane's been pretty consistent all year with that. Then Aldama, Kennard, GG Jackson still kind of integrating after his injury. But GG with 9 and 4 off the bench. GG Jackson not doing too bad. But as you can see here up top, though, I mean, they went on the avalanche, the Pacers. The Pacers in the second quarter, a 50-point quarter is insane. So it went from as many as, hey, they were up 5 to, oh, now we're down like, oh my God, I gotta do math real quick. See, this is why you guys supposed to have like a script. I think should have a script, but I kind of do a lot of my stuff like unscripted. You feel me? Like I don't do. I'm not like a scripted guy. So they had 59 at the half, and then. So if they went from up 5 to down 19 at the half, like that's the crazy like deficit right there, dude. That's just like crazy to think about. The Pacers, I mean, Pacers have been doing pretty well. They're hanging around that 5th seed there, that 5th seed position. Actually, here, what I'm going to do is let me just bring up NBA.com instead of like kind of where I'm at. Let's just actually just go to the official NBA site because why the fuck not? But yeah, so NBA there. So go to NBA.com here. Pacers hanging around. Actually, they're in the 4th seed, actually. So them and the Bucks are kind of fighting between the 4 or 5 position. Then Milwaukee kind of been fighting back. Detroit may try to make a little bit run in there and everything. Because actually, this matchup here, 4, 5, 6, and 7, they are all like right there within a couple games of each other. So anything can happen in this last stretch. And you can see a lot of big changes for these 4 teams here. But right now, you know, if you want to focus on it, Indiana and Milwaukee kind of fighting for that 4 or 5 position to see who would get home court of that potential series matchup, which they played last year, right? It was Bucks and Pacers last year in the first round, I believe it was. Yeah, Bucks Pacers last year. Yep, that's exactly what happened. So, yeah, I mean, Indiana, just kind of like an all-around solid team performance, especially that second quarter where they shot the lights out, did pretty decent. Not too much to say here besides the fact that it was just a game where once that Pacers took off in the second quarter, they just didn't really look back, and Memphis just didn't really have an answer. Again, this Ja Morant slump is like the bigger story of everything. Hopefully that is just kind of like a mini funk that Ja gets out of, because Ja's been having a stretch of just games where he just has not looked like himself and has been shooting terribly. And I don't know if it's because of the cause of like the spacing on the team or just Ja's just maybe actually regressed, but hopefully it's not a regression. Hopefully it's just like a little bad slump and Ja can kind of get out of it. So now we'll move back on. So let's do the next one. We could briefly talk about these two real quick, Hawks and Magic and Cavs and Nets. I got to catch the end of Hawks and Magic. I seen at the end where Paolo had hit a huge three that took them up 6. Trae Young and them kept trying to come back and make it close. Tried to get it to tie games and stuff like that, but they were never able to fully get through. Paolo and Franz together as a duo is just a monster duo. It really hurts me that they got hurt earlier in the year, because I think personally, if Paolo and Franz didn't get hurt earlier in the year, Orlando would be up in this area. Hell, they might have I definitely say more than 28 wins, but I could see them in the 4 or 5 spot right now with how good Orlando is when healthy. Orlando's a really nice team, and Paolo and Franz have just been their anchors. But yeah, that's what happens in the game. Injuries happen, can alter the course of a season, and it definitely altered the course of the Magic. However, I will say, assuming this plays out and stays the same, and Orlando gets a healthy Boston will have some troubles against the Orlando Magic in the first round. That would be a very interesting series that I think Boston could have run into some troubles for, and it could be an extended series, but we'll kind of see how the rest of the season progress there. The Hawks, Trae Young, look at Trae. Trae, after the All-Star break, came out firing 38 and 6. Trae was hooping. Reese Shea, 11 and 12. Didn't shoot well, but decent little stat line right there. Big O, 11 and 7. Dyson Daniels, their defensive monster, 10 and 11. So it looks like they dominated the glass. So they did dominate the glass there for the most part, but it's just, this is why. 39% for the field is not going to cut it. But the Hawks are kind of just... The Hawks are just this... They're in a weird spot, man. The Hawks are kind of this team here where it's unfortunately, they're not going nowhere. But they have some solid pieces, but they're not going anywhere, which is interesting because they did just trade away DeAndre Hunter. DeAndre Hunter got traded to the Cavaliers, so the Cavaliers got a big wing that they were looking for. I don't know if he played today because I didn't get to watch that game hardly at all. To be honest, it was just there, but I didn't really lock in on it. But we'll see. Hopefully, see how that helps out them. But yeah, Hawks are just kind of in this weird floater spot. As for their Nets and Cavs, again, not much to say there. Cam Thomas still not healthy from the hamstring injury. DG had a pretty solid game. I know that. Donovan Mitchell hooped as well. Jarrett Allen 16 and 20, and Mobley 18 and 13. Just the Twin Towers just doing work. Not too much the Nets could do there. Oh, DeAndre Hunter did play. Well, it makes sense because he got traded before the All-Star break, and obviously, so yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, DeAndre Hunter, their bench piece over there, so they got really good depth at the wing now, which is great. And everybody else, D'Lo just... Man, salute to D'Lo, right? Free hoops, right? Free hoops. What you're looking for? Yeah, fuck out of here. Jalen Wilson, Trendon Watford did okay. Cam Johnson did all right. Keon try to hoop out, but the Nets are tanking. Nets want to try to move up, see if they can move from Khan to try to see if they can get one of these three, or even VJ. But definitely they're looking at one of these three for sure as a franchise guy kind of moving forward. Nets just aren't really there. Cleveland continues to be the class, the upper echelon with them and Boston in the East. So yeah, not too much to really go more into there. Bulls and Knicks. I watched the whole overtime, the end of the fourth quarter, and the whole overtime of this one. This was a fun little back and forth game. There was a one point in overtime where the Knicks had went up 7 with, I want to say, around There was like a minute to go, and with the momentum they were going, and Cat hooping, because Cat had like 30 and almost like 20 rebounds. Like Cat was balling out of his mind. What was Cat? Yeah, 32 and 18. Like, yeah, Cat was balling out of his mind there. I kind of just felt, and then, Deuce McBride had gone off too. Look at my boy Deuce. 5 threes, 23 points. The boy Deuce was hooping. Yeah, at some point with how the momentum was going for the Knicks, I felt it was over, and then I kind of looked down, looked back up, and then now it's like a close game again, and the Bulls had a couple opportunities to win, and they just couldn't convert. But yeah, really fun game there. Bulls drop another one here. So Bulls, you see now they're on a 5-game losing streak. The Bulls don't want to be in the play-in anymore. It's just, unfortunately, everybody else is below them is actually kind of bad too. I could somehow though convince myself that we could see the 76ers try to move up, because the Bulls, they're selling. They really don't want to be anywhere towards the top or in the play-in situation, and we could see Philly try to sneak in. But man, this 10 through 15 is terrible. It's very bad out in the Eastern Conference, man. For the Knicks got a pretty decent win there. Now a 3-game win streak. Knicks did they did pretty well, I will say. I mean, they controlled the glass. They were shooting a lot from 3, getting good shots. Mikhail had gotten some timely offensive rebounds there. Knicks did pretty good. Unfortunately, I don't consider them like in that class with Cleveland and Boston, even though they're 3rd seed. But the Knicks can surprise a lot of people, especially if they get healthy, and whenever Mitchell Robinson comes back, however healthy he may be. So, pretty good there. Last couple we're gonna talk about real quick. I'm not gonna touch on the Hornets and Nuggets because I just didn't feel the need to watch that game at all, and it kind of served me right. So last couple I'm gonna touch on is I'm gonna do Bucks Clippers and Spurs Suns. Bucks Clippers at one point had a 7-point lead, and they had like all the momentum going. And then in the 4th quarter, the Bucks just had an avalanche. Like Brook Lopez had come through and gotten multiple blocks. He had hit a couple of threes. Taurean Prince had hit some shots. They were making plays and getting steals. It just out of nowhere, when the Clippers had could presumably had like a decent, they were starting to get a grip on the game. Milwaukee just went on a flurry and blew the game open. Kawhi 25. Didn't shoot well field goal wise, but had 4 threes. 4 threes was pretty nice. Zubac was big, 20 and 15. Big Zoo. Can't believe Magic Johnson still traded you, by the way. That for Mike Muscala. That's Magic Johnson. That's one I'll probably never forgive you for. But anyway, then Harden 24, 8 and 5, first game back from his All-Star break. Didn't shoot necessarily well there at all from a team, but Harden had a decent stat line. Also, funny enough, Giannis and Dame were on a minutes restricted. So, Giannis, there was that point when the run was happening, Giannis wasn't in the game. Matter of fact, I don't think I've seen Giannis in the game from the 6 minute mark on, 6 or 7 minute mark on. I don't think I've seen Giannis at all, because you see in the 24 minutes. Dame though kind of did close the stretch out. Dame didn't necessarily shoot well at all. Dame had a terrible shooting night, but it doesn't really matter if you're gonna have big Brook Lopez hoop up and your role players step up like Taurean Prince, big Brook Lopez, Kuzma doing a little bit of stuff too. So yeah, a nice convincing win for the Bucks. Bucks again, they're fighting with Indiana right now. You see them in Indiana trying to fight for that 4-5 matchup, trying to just move up there. For the Clippers with that loss, they had a chance. If they were to win that game, they had a chance to be 32 and 23, and they'd get close on the gap to move up on the Lakers to be able to get into that 4-5 position, because they want to try to see if they can get a first round matchup against Houston, or maybe even move up enough to get to 4 so they can host that series. But with that loss, kind of sets them 2.5 games back there. pretty nice game. Pretty nice game that happened there tonight in Milwaukee. I definitely thought Clippers had controlled the game at that point, but yeah, that was a nice little ending there. And then the final game we'll talk about is Spurs and Suns. First off, I want to say a prayer out to Victor Wembanyama. Vic, if you guys don't know, you probably heard around the social media all today, but Vic is probably going to be out for the season because he developed a blood clot in his shoulder. Very, very serious thing. Actually, career altering. Can be life threatening, but definitely can be huge career altering. We've had the Thompson twins had some blood clots, was able to come back. Brandon Ingram had a blood clot in 2019 and came back and became an all-star that year as well. But Chris Bosh ended his careers. Some baseball players that get it in their stings ended their careers as well. It is a scary injury, and Vic's supposed to be their franchise, their future. But yeah, first of all, yeah, big prayers to Vic. Going into the actual game tonight, though, Mike Budenholzer and that front office, I don't know 100% if this is a Budenholzer call or if this is stuff coming from upstairs the front office, but the front office definitely needs a full clean wipe in Phoenix. They need to all go because there's no reason. Your starting lineup right now, right? Like, being 100% honest, your starting lineup should consist of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker. You should have definitely. Oh, sorry, here. Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Nick Richards, Ryan Dunn, and whoever your fifth person, whether that be like Royce, whether that be Royce, you could put Royce there. But Tyus Jones should not be seeing this many NBA minutes at all. Tyus Jones is salute to Tyus, Duke guy. Never gonna fully shit on him. That's my guy, Duke guy forever. But he's just not a really good NBA start. He's not an NBA starting point guard, and that's okay. There's not a lot of NBA starting point guards in the league. There's only 30 spots, and some of those 30 teams shouldn't even have point guards as well. But some of those teams, like, those aren't even starter long-term point guards, right? But yeah, Tyus Jones should not be getting this many minutes a game. So I mean, Royce O'Neal had a great night shooting wise. Salute. There was Devin Booker's just been, how do I say it, for the most part, Devin Booker's been really disappointing. Now, if you let some certain fans tell you that, they'll kind of tell you that they'll blame the coaching staff and stuff like that. But Devin Booker, when you just watch him play, he's so inconsistent and he frustrates you because he's kind of one of those, like, hey, you want to be like a Kobe variant, right? And yes, I know a lot of people be like, oh, Kobe missed the most shots in the league, yada, yada, whoop the whoop. But there's just something about Devin Booker's game, and there's something about his play style that he just frustrates you with the way he plays. And for whatever the fuck reason of the night, the Suns, when Kevin Durant would go on a heater, like, there was a possession, right? I had seen it. There was a possession. KD had hit a three. Then Booker came down, had like a pretty bad miss. KD hits another three, and then Bill would come down and have a bad miss. Grayson Allen on one possession came down. It was 2-on-5. All 5 Spurs players are back, and Grayson Allen pulled up from 3. And even for people that you would say that, like, oh yeah, they can hit shots like Steph and Dame and like the people who are like really, really good from deep. Even those that you would do that, it's still, unless you're on a heater, that's a terrible shot. And Grayson Allen wasn't on a heater, shot that and missed it. That's bad basketball. And I don't understand. I'm not going to fully blame Mike Budenholzer, but then, like, because the players are kind of learning, like, they've had 3 new coaches within the past few years. Like, they went from Fizdale to, like, they went from Fizdale, Monty. They went from Monty to, Frank Vogel, and then now Mike Budenholzer. So they had to learn multiple different offensive schemes in the past 3 years. But, like, still, it's just the fact that like bad offensive basketball, even defensive basketball. I mean, Ryan Dunn not seeing the floor. I understand he's a rookie, and some people have like kind of like overrated him on everything, but he's known for his defense. Kind of his role in the league is to be a 3-and-D guy, and he's been pretty solid when he's been on the court for this year, and him getting no playing time tonight is inexcusable. Suns, the Suns are in a bad spot too, especially now when they tried to trade Kevin Durant at the deadline. Suns, it's not looking good. I don't see a path forward for Phoenix this year, and they might end up blowing it up in the summer. Who knows? On the Spurs side, Spurs, I'm not gonna lie to you. Great game tonight. My boy De'Aaron Fox, out of the trade deadline All-Star break. D Fox almost had a triple double. CP and KD had a funny interaction earlier too, where Durant and then was John. That was like a little funny as well. But CP with a 13 and 10 assists. Sohan, Castle, pretty much like all the rotation guys all chipped in from there. The Spurs, because of that Wemby injury, I'm not gonna lie to you. Could they make the play-in? Maybe, but like they're kind of like the Spurs season. Essentially, they're kind of just like they're done. You gotta just want to maybe just use the guys to kind of get more reps, build continuity, so that they can get familiar with next year when Wemby hopefully comes back, and then try to see if they can sign some people in the offseason to get better. But Spurs tonight, I mean, really did pretty good. Obviously, Fox is hooping there, so yeah, we'll hope again. Praise the Wendy. Well, for Wembanyama, man, that's some scary shit, and hopefully they can kind of go from there. And then that's pretty much it for the NBA tonight. That's pretty much kind of all that happened. Hopefully tomorrow, I'll see how what games I may want to cover tomorrow. I may not decide to cover anything tomorrow, and just kind of wait till the big game on Saturday. But we'll see. We'll kind of see what happens tomorrow. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for helping me along the way with this new channel. I'm enjoying making content. It's kind of forcing me to grind and really lock back in on fully on basketball, from not just the Lakers side but the NBA as a whole, which I do anyway. But like this channel is just maybe really be like, oh, now we're gonna talk about kind of a lot of teams, so let's like zero in and let's like lock in on these teams. So this is fun to be able to lock in and watch basketball, you guys, because we only get basketball for so long out of the year. So but yeah, thank you guys for watching. It's your boy Watu Shadows. Thank you guys for coming to Hoop Nights. We'll see you in the next one. Deuces!